What's going on, everybody? Mac Daddy here, and we are at City of Memphis this morning. We've got a couple of trucks to work on. First on the docket is this one here. It has a couple of D-rate codes stuck in it. And my watch just broke. That's wonderful. Or my watch band. But it has a couple of D-rate codes stuck in it, and the only way to get them out is to reflash the ECM with either the current software update, or if it has an update available, go ahead and update the software. This one actually has an update, so we're going to go ahead and push the update through, and I'm going to walk y'all through the entire process. But the main thing to remember is you're going to program this Cummins 9-liter through this plug and this plug only, because if you try to push it through this plug, I've had it happen to me where it decides to just blip, and you have to call Cummins, get a fleet cal, and you got to go through about a 2.5 hour process between all of the phone calls and waiting on the fleet cal and this and that and yonder to be able to reprogram that ECM. So let me walk y'all through the proper way of doing this. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your Cummins Insight opened up. You're going to come over to calibration selection, and you're going to click ECM PDD. And what you want to do is you want to come up here and right click, and you want to empty your calibration workspace. Now, I've already done this, and I've already got the proper ECM calibration code saved, but you're going to click on empty calibration workspace before you connect to the ECM. Then you will come back, do your ECM PDD search, and this one is Echo Bravo 90213. You never want to put in the decimal point. You click search. It says it found it. I cannot save it because I have already saved it. I saved it when I was here yesterday and didn't have the time to program. So once you have it saved, you're going to just close that out. Before you click, I have mine set up on a Wi-Fi connection, but for programming, I do a USB connection. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our USB cable and hook it up. We're going to take our inline 7, throw the power cord over there. That way we can tie into the alternator wires for power. We'll connect our 3-pin Deutsch connector, making sure that it's connected. We'll get our USB cable. And because I'm mobile, I have a certain way I like to do this, especially with the threat of rain today. So we're going to go ahead and through our window and underneath the hood, over the steering wheel, and we are going to connect our USB right there. And don't forget the caffeine. And we're going to take our hot straight to that post, and we're going to fish our ground. Make sure we have a good, and then we're going to ease the hood down. And we're doing that because of, like I say, the threat of rain. Where did I put my keys? Ah. Oh, and yes, I fixed the watch band. Figured out it was just the pin disconnected. Easy fix. We're going to find our universal key for all of these trucks. And we're going to key it on. The big thing to remember about something like this is to make sure that your truck batteries stay good and hot. If the truck has weak batteries, hook it up to a 2 amp charge to where it will supply good, clean, steady power, not a 10 amp charge, because that could overload it. And when that 10 amp charge breaks down, to keep it from overcharging, it could cause an issue while programming. So now that we're all hooked up there, our inline 7 is connected and on. We're gonna hop back in the truck. We've got that selected for USB, and we're gonna connect. So one of the other very big things you have to do when you're doing this is when you have this pop up to create a new work order, absolutely every time do it. Come down here to your work order number, and I like to put in, because I'm at City of Memphis, we'll do COMS 3190, which is our unit number. And in my notes, I'm going to put ECM recalibration. And the biggest reason we're going to do this and create that image is if for whatever reason our ECM decides to glitch out and drop our calibration, or our calibration fails during the process, we're going to be able to go back into work orders and let's see right here, because COM 3190, and you can see where I was on it yesterday. I can take this ECM image and create a template to push back into the ECM once I get a base calibration put back in it. But we're hoping that we don't have to go through that today. Should we have to, I can show you that process. So now that we're connected up, we have our ECM image. I'm going to show you these fault codes that are in this truck. We got a 3714 and a 3712. Both are D-rate fault codes with no supporting information as to why it's in D-rate, but we have the torque D-rate, SCR inducement, and that is just a informational code only. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to features and parameters, and this can take a second, but what we'll do once this loads up is we're going to go to ECM information. And we're going to find our ECM serial number, because that does matter when we go to program our ECM with a new calibration. Okay, here we are. System ID and data plate, ECM information. Our ECM part number is 531-7106. So now that we know our part number, we can now go to calibration, ECM/PDD. We're going to open this up all the way in the automotive. We have an ISL 9 CM 2350 101 123. So ISL. We're not going to go to the L9. And then we have a 7106. We're going to click on that. Echo Bravo 90213. Echo Bravo 90213. Our current version is a 0.10, and we're going to be installing the 0.12. So we're going to click on that, or we're going to left click to highlight it, right click, and we're going to transfer to ECM. And then you follow the programming wizard, or the download wizard. Current is a 10. Requested is a 12, and then we click OK. So here is the scary part that I've noticed over probably the last 5 or 6 months, is if the inline 7 is set up for a higher download rate, it is very possible that the programming could absolutely drop out before it even makes it to the programming, and cause you to have to go and get a fleet cal. So the preparing to receive the calibration is always the part that I make sure I watch this. Once we make it to the actual download section, we're good, we're gold. But we just got to watch this, make sure that it doesn't drop out or anything stupid like that. So while it's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and prepare my cable, because we are, like I say, expecting some rain today. So I'm just preparing my cable to where when I can open my door, it's not going to rip the cable out of my laptop. And we're just going to snug it into that door just like that. And then we'll come back and watch all this. And hopefully this thing will decide to go ahead and start transferring while I'm recording. Fuck it. I'll bring you guys back once it goes. And we have made it past the preparation stage. It now says transferring ECM calibration. I've had to call Cummins and have them walk me through the inline 7 settings to actually slow mine down, which is part of the reason I have to hard cable, because I used to program these things wireless, never had an issue, and then I downloaded a more current version of Insight, and something happened and I was no longer able to do that. So now I have to hard cable, and I went from about a 10-minute transfer time to about a 30 to 45-minute transfer time. So that transfer time will continue to go up. So while it's transferring, remember, don't mess with the cable here, don't mess with the cable there, don't let anybody near the truck, and only follow the key switch prompts when the computer tells you. And in the meantime, sit here and doom scroll Facebook. Knife a month. We still have 25 minutes left as of right now. It is currently almost 9:45, and I'm at 1,760 steps for the day. So knowing that there's at least 25 minutes left for the day, or at least for this program, I can shut the truck down, lock it, walk around this entire lot and work on getting my steps in and not be a lazy motherfucker. So when you're doing stuff like this and you're out and about on the road, you don't always have to be lazy. So I'm gonna shut the truck down, I'm gonna go hit the head, and I'm gonna start getting my steps in, and I'm gonna set a timer, and I'm gonna make sure I get to my 10,000 steps, because not a lot of y'all know, but I've been on a weight loss journey over the last month and a half, trying to get down to or under 300 pounds by the time I go to Mac Masters in 3.5 weeks. So with that being said, guys, I will see y'all when I come back to finish up this whole process. All right, we are back. Checked on the computer and it says turn key switch off, and then click OK. So we are going to do just that. Turn that key off. And there we go. And now we have to wait a minute and a half, so 90-ish seconds. They usually say 100, so it's a minute and 40, but whatever. Alright, turn the key switch on and click OK. So we're going to do that now. Key switch on. Click OK. And during this portion, you always want to wait until the next button lights up. Because if you don't wait for that and you go ahead and click cancel at this point, it's going to erase every bit of work you just did and then brick the fucking ECM and cause you some more heartache and grief. And at the end, when you click next and finish, always let it create an image. And that just saves your ass, so that if you ever have to go back for whatever reason, you know you can get the correct image to reload the ECM in a future date if it ever decides to break or anything like that happens. So now that we're done there, we're going to close that out. We're going to check our fault codes. None located. Disconnect from the ECM. And that is how you calibrate the ECM on a Cummins 9 liter.